This is Welsh ASMI T2. Hey, how you doing? Today we're going to look at the Champions League, the Europa League and the Conference League in the round of 16 first legs. I've got to get this video out really quickly because the second legs are coming in a couple of days. So how did everyone do? How are your nerves? I would say that I'm quite excited to talk about the Conference League in particular because I think every single result was a bit of a shock. So we'll get to that at the end of the video. We'll talk about the Champions League first, Europa League second and Conference League before we finish. And if I've got enough time, I'll talk to you briefly about the Asian Champions League as well because that's hotting up as well. But no promises. Okay, so what was a very even match for large portions of the game became a very important away win for Aston Villa's maiden Champions League campaign. Excellent finishing performance from them towards the end of the game, in a game that I thought for large parts Bruges looked quite comfortable. No offence to Aston Villa, I thought they were underwhelmed for about 80 minutes, well, between the 3rd minute and the 82nd, so like 79 minutes. And I thought that Club Bruges were like fine, to be honest. I think they'll be quite angry that they've got to take that deficit to Birmingham next week, because for large parts of the game they were really comfortable. They sat off, they didn't even try and get the ball back, and then when they did, they counter-attacked. They looked really comfortable. Aston Villa were struggling to find ways around their low block, and it was a tactic that worked brilliantly, you remember, against Atalanta, but didn't quite work today. So well done to Aston Villa. Their amazing Champions League experience continues. Dortmund, similar, no, actually not a similar story, but in the sense that Dortmund were doing fine, and then they sort of just kind of relaxed towards the end of the match. Obviously they're an amazing crowd, and they were 1-0 up, and it was all going fine. And then Lille got a goal back, and yeah, it was deserved from Lille. I thought they did enough to get into the game. And I think, again, Dortmund will be quite upset with themselves, particularly because of their away form being so shocking. To go and have to win at Lille now is a mistake on Dortmund's part. So we'll see what happens. Lille having a fantastic campaign. They're currently domestically not in a position to qualify for the Champions League next year. So I think they just need to enjoy as much as they can. Talking about enjoying themselves, strikerless Arsenal. Didn't I say this last week could happen? I said that Dutch teams in this competition are so up and down. PSV were brilliant against Juventus, and I said, you watch them now, 3-0 at home to Arsenal or something. I'm pretty sure I remember saying something along those lines. And this is what happens, unfortunately. The Dutch teams are really up and down. 1 minute they're brilliant, and the next minute, what is this? 7-1 at home to a side that doesn't even have a striker at the minute. Yeah, so I think they'll be absolutely disgusted with themselves, PSV Eindhoven. They've totally blown it. There's almost no point in turning up to the second leg. Noah Lang got a 1 goal back, but yeah, Arsenal just absolutely walloped them. And 15 shots on goal to 12, 8 on target. They were ruthless. Fair play. And it looks like statistically, I didn't watch the match, but it looks like statistically they were quite even at times. But maybe Arsenal just had one of those matches where everything they hit went in the back of the net. I don't know. And I said as well, I hate being right sometimes. I said, Real Madrid have struggled in the group stages. They just about got past Man City in the first leg. They were much better in the second leg. And I said, watch them just like come out of their shell now. And they did. They were all over Atletico Madrid, a team that are on paper as good as them and in the league above them. Real Madrid are third. Atleti are joint. Well, they're second, but joint sort of first with Barcelona. Maybe they're 1 point behind Barcelona, I can't remember. Brahim Diaz with an excellent goal, gotta say. Absolutely stunning goal. But yeah, I thought there was a point in the match about the 80th minute where they just kind of went, that's it, we're not even chasing for this match now. Maybe they're confident that they'll win at the Metropolitano, I'm not sure. But I thought it was a risky tactic, and it could have invited, there were opportunities for a third goal, which I think would have ended the tie. But yeah, isn't it funny how Real Madrid, look wobbly, and then they just kind of go, oh yeah, we're in the knockouts now, let's thrash everyone. I didn't watch this, but it is exactly what I was expecting. Inter just cruising. I saw the commentators talk about it after the match when I was waiting for the next, because this was the early fixture and I missed it. I was waiting for the later fixtures to start, and they were saying that Inter didn't even get into second gear. They were just like, this is easy, this is fine. So unfortunately it's a step too far for the Dutch teams again. It seems I cannot see them getting 2 goals, let alone potentially 3 at San Siro next week against Inter, one of the strongest teams in the competition. I maintain they're going to reach at least a semi-final, so I think I did say they were going to make the final for quite some time this whole season, so we'll see what happens. But like I said, they're going under everyone's radar because they're not blowing sides away, they're not destroying anyone, they're just doing their job in first gear, not even going into second. And I think when they go up against a bigger team, we're going to find out one of two things. Do they have a second gear? And if so, what does that look like? And it's either going to be disappointing or incredibly exciting. We'll find out. This was a bit of a shocker. I thought that Leverkusen would do enough to get a draw, particularly as I watched the recent Bundesliga match between the pair of them. And yeah, they were quite poor, I've got to be honest. Bayern were all over them for long periods of the match. 3-0, Leverkusen even got someone sent off for a penalty. Was that the penalty? No, it wasn't even that. It was just a sending off, gave away a really stupid penalty. Just held on to Kane, Tapsoba. Yeah, just absolutely appalling. Just all from start to finish, and 3-0 down. How are you going to beat Bayern 3-0 down, even at home? So I think this one is actually done. I think Leverkusen might even win, might even score 3 goals, but they're not, Bayern could score another 3. So yeah, I'm really disappointed for Leverkusen. I thought they were going to go much further in the competition, but a really naive performance from them. And Rafinha does it again. 10-man Barcelona, good enough to beat Benfica even out in Portugal. I think the second leg, although it says Szczesny, I haven't seen the match actually, it says that Szczesny, so 10-man quite early on, sending off quite early on. 26 shots on the home team, so Wojciech Szczesny had a very, very good game with the sounds of it. And unlucky for Benfica. I mean, it's only 1-0. They could win in Barcelona. It's unlikely. And then, talking about goalkeepers being man of the match, I think everyone's been talking about Alisson's performance. If you look at the stats on this game, that is incredible. Luis Enrique, manager of Paris Saint-Germain, came out and said that he felt that they totally deserved to get something out of the match. 27 shots on goal, 10 on target, no goals. Liverpool, 30% possession, 2 shots on goal. Basically, they've been FM'd, haven't they? They've been football managered. I read it on Reddit. I'm on the Football Manager Reddit subreddit, and someone was like, see, it does happen. Don't, save scum when it happens to you on Football Manager. It happens in real life too. Yeah, they just... Everyone was saying, in real... do you think that Paris Saint-Germain fans are save scumming now and just trying to reset and play Liverpool again and win, 3-0, whatever they should have won by, because that is a shocking result. But, as I keep saying, and as I have said from quite early on, it is the form of a champion. That's how you win a competition, isn't it? By having matches like that. You don't have to beat everyone. You don't have to destroy everyone. You just have to win. And that, for me, is the form of a champion. So what do I think is going to happen next week? I think Barcelona to win, Bayern to win, Inter to win, Liverpool to win. Do you know what? I think Lille might do it. So I think Lille to beat Dortmund. I'm going to change my mind on this one. I said Dortmund to win. Change my mind. Arsenal, I think they might get through. Aston Villa to get through, and I think at the minute Real Madrid to get through. So that is the Champions League for you. Shall we look at the Europa League together then? So Europa League, by the way, I'm using FotMob, just in case you're interested. Europa League, let's have a look at the fixtures then. So Alkmaar beating Tottenham. I watched the whole match. Tottenham were like the worst they've been all season. I can't imagine in the second leg they'd be that bad. Mixed with the fact that Alkmaar never lose at home. They did really well against Roma. I watched them once already at home this season. Fans are amazing. Team are really up for it, on the front foot, always looking for... They're like on you, like, you know, there's no time on the ball at all. So I thought Alkmaar did well. I think Tottenham will still get through as long as they don't play anywhere near. Like, if they played that badly and still only lost 1-0, then there's hope at home that they can do a lot better. But they need to stop playing Dell up front. He is a left winger. He looks terrible in the striker position. Just put Son there. You could put Brennan Johnson there if you wanted to. It's not great for him either, to be honest. Solanke made a couple of... so he came on towards the end, so he's back from injury. Hopefully he'll be up and running by then. If he's not, I would even be tempted to play like, I don't know, Madison up front, but not Tell. God, he was just awful up front. And has been for quite some time. Plucky, Steaua Bucharest were drawing 1-1 at one point, but Lyon, having a really good campaign, starting to do really well in their domestic league as well, so they won 3-1. They would be favourites to go through with a return leg back at the in France. Now, I got a lot of heat for this in the comments, right, guys? So I said Rangers would win, and I had at least 3, maybe 4 comments. Bearing in mind I don't get loads and loads of comments, but I got at least, like, I'd say 25% of my comments were about me saying Rangers would win. And they were like, I can't believe you think that, you know, look at their track record, they've been doing really poorly. They lost to Motherwell at home, they lost to St Mirren, they lost in the Scottish Cup to Queen's Park. How can you say that they would beat Fenerbahce in Turkey? Well, unfortunately, sorry, my Turkish subscribers, I was right. And yeah, 3-1 as well, which is a quite handsome lead. And they had the ball in the back of the net 5 times. Cyril Dessers was just insane. Yes, the home team had most of the possession. Yes, they had 23 shots on goal. This is the thing with Galatasaray as well. I know Galatasaray are out now. And Fenerbahce, they're really fun to watch as a neutral because they just attack. But if you ask Inter, and this week if you ask Liverpool, you don't win anything by being attractive and attacking all the time. You actually have to build it on a solid defence. So I thought, you know, Czerny's goal was absolutely stunning. I think that, you know, Turkish teams, as fun as they are to watch, part of me doesn't want to change that, but they're not going to win anything unless they build in a solid defence. But the crazy thing is, I'm saying that about a Jose Mourinho team. His literal philosophy is defence, so I don't understand what's happened. But I think that 3-1 Rangers at home should see that through. And I'm being quite smug because I said it would happen, and I got a lot of sort of comments about saying that, so yeah, very smug. Real Sociedad Man United 1-1. I said there was going to be a very close match. They match each other very well. Not sure what's going to happen because these days Old Trafford is not a fortress at all. In fact, I think they play worse at home, so Sociedad are still very much in it. Dutch teams, what's wrong with you? Like, Ajax lost at home to Frankfurt, who for me are a good tip to get into the semi-finals. Frankfurt are a very strong team. But yeah, Ajax crumbled at home to Union Saint-Gilloise in the last round. And I think they've sort of put the nail in their own coffin there. They're not going to really win in Germany, are they? Bodø Glimt hammered Olympiacos, really shocked with that result. Well done to the Norwegians, who are having a fantastic campaign and have been getting better in Europe for some time now. They look like they're through. I was obviously watching Roma, so I said at the start of the competition I wanted either Roma, Athletic Club de Bilbao or Tottenham Hotspur to win this competition, and obviously one of them is not going to. 93-minute goal from the Uzbek international Shomurodov, and a red card for Yaray. It's going to be really hard. San Mamés is a very difficult place to get a win, but we don't have to win now. We were drawing and, well, we were losing at one point. Iñaki Williams with the opening goal. Angelino, one of our best players all season long. And Celik getting better all the time. So yeah, and Ranieri was showing real signs of progression. I hope we can just get a draw away. But on the flip side, if we did go out, I wouldn't mind to Athletic Club because they're one of the teams that I would like to see win the competition. And of course, the final is in San Mamés, their home stadium. So on one side, I feel a bit guilty for supporting Roma in this situation. I'd love the home team to win a European Cup in one of their best spells in the club's history ever. They've won the Copa del Rey last year. They're looking like getting into the Champions League next year via the league position that they're in, and it would be amazing for them to play a European final after 6 or 7 years not even being in Europe. To play at their home stadium would be amazing, so I wouldn't be too disappointed. And lastly, Lazio, 9-man Lazio, who 98th minute winner, who were struggling away to a team that I've talked up for quite some time, Victoria Pilsen. But at 2-1, I think at the Stadio Olimpico they wouldn't really stand a chance. So Lazio, my favourites for this competition, are going to go through, but they made it difficult for themselves, didn't they? So I think Roma and Athletic Club to draw, putting Roma through, Frankfurt to either draw or win, putting them through, Lazio to win, putting them through, Bodø Glimt just a 0-0 draw and they're through, Lyon will get through, don't have a clue, maybe Sociedad 55%, Man United 45%, because I think playing at home for Man United is actually a minus point to the second. I think Rangers will just get through, and I think Tottenham will turn it around and get through against Alkmaar, but I might be wrong. Okay, so that's the Europa League, everyone. Hope you enjoyed. Let's go to conference then. So this is the one I wanted to talk about because I think every single result here is a little bit of a shocker. Even this one, because I think I was expecting Chelsea just to completely steamroll everyone until the final, maybe even in the final. But for Copenhagen to even get lay a punch on them, I thought was excellent. And Copenhagen will be quietly confident that if they just sit back for the first part of the match in London next week, then maybe they can get like a penalty or a free kick or a corner kick and maybe get a goal. Chelsea aren't in such a powerful position as I thought they were going to be, but reality really, I think Chelsea will win. I was saying Legia would win this one, so again, Molde following in Bodø Glimt's footsteps, having a fantastic time in Europe. The Norwegian teams, Norway, if you look at the coefficiency rankings, have gone up like 10 spots or something in the last couple of years. They're really doing well in Europe. And yeah, so this is another good step for Norwegian football. Another couple of points for their coefficiency ranking. And all they've got to do now is draw in Poland and they're through. It'll be hard. Legia Warszawa's home is a fortress. If I remember correctly, I might be wrong. So 3-1, 3-1, lost away 2-0, drew with Korona Kielce at home. They lost to Lugano at home though. But yeah, they got some very good results, and they don't, that's the only match that they've lost at home, look. For any number of games I can find. They lost to last year's champions in September. Oh no, it was the year before, 2 years ago, champions. Rakov Częstochowa. Yep, so they are really, really good at home, so they can still get through, but Molde just have to sort of sit back and absorb all of that, and they're through. Another shock, I said Fiorentina would make the final along with Chelsea, and they lost to Panathinaikos 3-2. Yes, they continue around in Florence, but they might not. Obviously, they are losing, and you can't ignore that fact, so that's an excellent result for Panathinaikos. I did not see that coming. I don't want to sleep on Victoria de Guimarães because they came like third or whatever in the table. Second, third. So we really shouldn't be underestimating them. But I just assumed that Real Betis, on paper, one of the strongest squads left in the competition, at home in their massive stadium, would just walk over them. They just beat Real Madrid for record. They literally just beat Real Madrid in the last match. So you'd think that they could handle the 5th best team or 6th best team in Portugal at the minute. 7th. Haven't only won 2 games out of the last 5. So yeah, I think I consider that a shock. They put themselves in an excellent position to go through. Another shock, I thought Rapid Vienna on paper, who were right at the top of the table, would be fine even away to Bosnian Banja Luka, but they're not, and it's 1-1 92nd minute penalty to draw a match. Well done to Bosnian football. Wow, that's such a massive step for them. I really rate this Rapid Vienna side, so again, I'm going to say that's a shock. I talked about shocks. Now, Jagiellonia Białystok did well in the group stage, but I didn't see like a comprehensive 3-0 win. Like, they're basically through, even before going to Belgium. And the second goal from Palulu was an overhead kick, and you've got to see it if you haven't seen it yet. It is like Ronaldo-esque. It's just fantastic. Amazing home support. I had this on the laptop when I was watching Roma Athletic Bilbao on the TV, and yeah, I just really, really so positive for Polish football. This is the champions of Poland at the moment. And yeah, I'd love to see them get through to a quarter-final, so it looks like they've done themselves a massive favour there. Lugano doing quite well in the Swiss league. Celje, Slovenian champions, I think. But I still didn't think that they would get this far, let alone then win the first leg. So well done to Slovenia. I love the Conference League. I know I love all these like sort of non-top 6, top 7 leagues in Europe doing well. I think it's fantastic. And another one, I said Gordon would win away to Cypriot Paphos. And yeah, Paphos bigging it up for the Cypriot League against a club that has history in Europe, Gordon, and they did brilliantly. So well done to them. Okay, my predictions. I think Jagiellonia will easily get through. Gordon probably turn it around, but it'll be tight. I think Gordon is still slight favourites to go through. I don't know what to say about the next one. Lugano, I assumed we were going to go through, but I've lost confidence now. I think Celje might do it. Rapid Vienna at home should be safe, but I think that away loss means that they've got to go and attack from the first minute, which suits Banja Luka. Maybe they can exploit that on the counter-attack. Chelsea Copenhagen, I think Chelsea will obviously win, particularly at home, but as I said, there is a strategy. Copenhagen could maybe sit in deep and try and get something on the break or from a corner, from a set piece. Fiorentina have got to attack from the off against Panathinaikos, and again that'll suit them. So Fiorentina are still my favourites to go through. Are they though? I don't know, I'm losing confidence in them. I think even as much as a draw means that they're out. So yeah, I think Panathinaikos might get through. I think at the moment Molde Molde are favourite to go through, but prior to the match, Legia for me were definitely favourite, so they can still do it. And at the minute, I think Vitória de Guimarães have to be favourite to go through, because that away draw was just fantastic. What can they do at home? Let's have a quick look at their home form, because they're only, what do we say, 7th? So they beat Casa Pia, drew away to Porto, that's very good. Drew at home to Braga, who are 4th in the table. Lots of draws, so it looks like it's going to be a draw, and that's why they're in 7th, because they're not actually they're scoring goals, but they're conceding and they're drawing. See the table, how many draws have they got? 11 draws. It's a lot, isn't it? So maybe we should expect another draw, and then maybe penalties against Real Betis, and then in that situation I think Real Betis, you know, with players like Isco, excellent dead ball specialist Anthony, will probably get through on penalties, but you never know. Penalties are complete lottery. Okay, as promised, we're going to take a really quick look at the Asian Champions League, because that is getting into the final throes as well, and I haven't talked about it for some time. We look at the elite. Basically, I'm a bit surprised about some of the results. So we had, let's have a look. So was that Wednesday? I think so, with the March results. Esteghlal 0-0 with Al Nassr. I think Al Nassr probably thought they could win that out in Iran. Esteghlal not doing well in their own domestic league at the minute, so they will be quite happy with that result. Al Wasl Asad, a former winner, they would probably think that they should have won that. So 1-1, really good for Al Wasl. Shanghai losing at home to Japanese Yokohama Marinos, so on form I think that's probably about fair. Buriram from Thailand drawing with Malaysia's Johor. A massive opportunity for either team really to get through to the next stage. The next one's the one that shocked me. Pakhtakor from Uzbekistan beating Al Hilal. Pakhtakor, my team, I tried to win on FM Manager the Asian Champions League. I made it to the final, but I lost. And they bought a load of foreign players. They didn't have any foreign players for some time. They used their youth academy quite a lot. But they'll still probably lose out in Saudi Arabia. But an Al Hilal team stacked with superstars couldn't beat them. So that is an amazing result for Uzbek football. And then lastly, the more normal one, Al Ahly beating Al Rayyan 3-1. And Galeno scored and Riyad Mahrez. Then Vissel Kobe beating Gwangju 2-0. Really bad year for Korean teams in the continental competition. And then Shanghai, surprisingly, beating Kawasaki 1-0. I assume that Al Nassr will win against Esteghlal. Assad should win. Yokohama should win. Very even, very, very even. Could go to penalties. Al Ahly should win. Al Hilal should win. Vissel Kobe should win. And Kawasaki will probably turn it around against Shanghai, but they are currently out and they have to score at least 1, if not 2 goals. And lastly, on to the Champions League 2, as it's unimpressively called. We'll look at some noteworthy results. We've got Sanfrecce hammering Lion City Sailors of Singapore 6-1, Tractor drawing with Ataun, Shabab and Sharjah drawing 1-1. Sydney, again, like I say, horrible year for the Korean teams. Brilliant result for Australian football, because their coefficient rankings, because of COVID, have dropped so much lower than they should be. So in the return matches, I think Ataun will probably win. Sanfrecce are already through. Sharjah Shabab, toss a coin, it could be either. And I think Sydney will go through against Jeonbuk. So we'll see what happens then in the next stage. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave me a comment, let me know if you think any of my predictions are completely crazy, and I will respond in kind, and let me know if you're happy with your team's performance this week. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, and if you love what I do, then join me on Patreon. thanks so much, and I'll see you again really, really soon for another video. Okay, take care.